Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, 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 yeah. Oh, oh, oh. Jesus Christ in a podcast in Houston, Texas. The IMPG podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the IMPG podcast. This is our fourth episode. I am your host, Nima Kiza. Today, we're going to dive into on what it means to follow Christ through all the sacrifices. And we're going to be diving deeper into a very special guest's life and just to learn a little bit about their ministry and where they started. I'm very honored to invite our special guest. He's a husband, he's a father, he's a friend, and he is a vice president of the IMPG church. Papa, we welcome you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. We want to learn a little bit about you today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please introduce yourself. But before we even get there, I would love to ask, people want to get a sense of who you are. How would your friends describe you beyond the title, beyond being Pastor Jeremy? Who is that person outside of the title of being a pastor?
All right. First of all, my name's Jeremy Bantu. That's my name. Talking about my friend around me, how they describe me, I heard them talking about me every time. I am somebody that try every time to follow the standards about anything that I have to do, or about something or anything that they give me to do. I make effort to follow the standards. And sometimes it brings trouble about some people to come close to me because I'm very strict about that. Yeah.
You are a man of your word.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now, on a more lighter note, I would love to know what's something that you enjoy that people wouldn't expect a pastor to enjoy. Because you see, oftentimes we think of a pastor, we only think about preaching the word of God and maybe doing some ministry travel. We only think about ministry. But what does Pastor Jeremiah enjoy outside of all of this?
Wow, that's a great question. Out of being a pastor in a church, as many know me, I am a parent, and I am a human, a normal human. So there are some of the stuff that I can enjoy out of my ministry, if I can say. Like watching movie, listen to music, especially combat movie.
Ah,
Yeah.
good. What's your current favorite song right now?
Right now, my current favorite song was sung by my brother-in-law, and the title is Tina.
Oh,
It is, he's talking about, claiming to remain in the rest of the night, because when the day comes, it comes with many trouble. So it's better maybe to benefit for that little rest of the night for some other hours. If God could add some hours to the night so that I can be resting instead of facing too much trouble in the world.
yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah.
beautiful. That's amazing. Now, I'm going to go back just a little bit. We've just learned that you love to watch music, you love to listen to music, you love to watch action movies, you're a man of your word outside of being a pastor, of course. Now, I want to go back a little bit on who you were before you became a pastor. Who was that little boy growing up, when he became a teenager, when he became a young adult, before actually walking into the calling of a pastor? Who was that boy?
Great question. Now, all I can say about my childhood, sometimes I can say it's not good for me. Good for me, why? Because my mom and my dad divorced. And being raised under the power or by another mother, it depends on a woman. I'm not going to say that is general. So I've gone through many things. And like somebody who missing the mother love. And I just grew up like that. So it brings somebody in a situation of thinking too much about life. And this, I know that was done by God just to bring me where I am right now. Because you grow up with many questions about life. You see how your friend around you, they being raised, how they benefit from that love that you don't have. So the only person that you can address all this is God.
Absolutely.
So it teach me to think about God too much. And then that was my childhood. I was raised in a family where there were people going to, they believe in Kimbangism. I don't know if you know that back in Congo, and the other were Catholic, Roman Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
But the majority was going to the Kimbangism. So I spent part of my life doing that until 12 years old, when I faced the reality of what God is and got to know Him. And that's the first time I had the Bible in my hands and started reading it like a book of story. I liked more the Old Testament than the New Testament, first of all, because of those stories about Abraham, David, and I was reading like stories, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then here come to the New Testament to discover Jesus, who He was, what He did, but you know, in a level of being a child, you don't understand. When I started my secondary school, it was in a Methodist school. And it was mandatory, like every Sunday we got to go to church. Here come the time that I start discovering other churches, see people preaching the Bible. And with what I got in my background, reading the Bible like a book of stories, so it gave me a standard to understand and to start discovering and loving God more. So that was my childhood. I was the first one in my family to go out of Catholic Church and Kimbangu Church.
Wow.
And start discovering now,
Yeah.
if I can say in short, about my childhood.
Okay, I want to dig a little deep into your childhood, if you would let me. As we know, I want to touch more addressing the young people today.
Okay.
Oftentimes, once we see a pastor here, we think when they grew up, they were perfect, that they lived a perfect lifestyle.
Right.
But I'm sure, your young days, there were some mistakes that were made, or you just grew up typically as a young boy, as a young adult in the world. There are certain pressures that I'm sure you also encountered. So if you can just talk to us a little bit about what that looked like for you growing up back then as a young adult.
Yep. Things happened. We were not born Christian. We were born pagans.
Mm-hmm.
Living with parents that are going to church just to go to church. Many people going to church just because it's Sunday, we got to go to church. So they didn't help like me to know God and to be who I am today. The reason why things could happen often when you are around friends, you are around siblings, life is kind of different than what I'm doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
We face everything that every child could face. Playing in the street, fighting in the street, stuff like that.
Yeah.
having friends. But one thing that I could say is this. You know, the call of God starts before even you exist. I could be and feel myself different from my friends about little girls. I know what my friends were doing. They were around me. And for that reason, I was thinking in my thought that maybe I will be a soldier. If I'm not a soldier, I'll be a priest. Those was my two options.
A priest or a soldier?
Yeah.
Huh.
And I tried it, but my father was not, he was not going with that. He prevented me to be like that. So being different from others, even though they were my friends, it was something that set a difference in me.
Yeah.
And then I was raised in a house where there was discipline. Such time you must be at home. Such time you must go to bed. Such time you might be at the table reading. So he helped me read so much. And I like science. Doing research, I was still young, doing research, trying to understand how stuff works. And then I found myself a radio repair and TV repair at home. And it took me time. All my time was like I'm in front of the radio trying to see what's going on, what's wrong, and fix it. So he isolated me from many things that my friends were doing. And the friend that liked what I was doing, they were coming to me.
Okay.
So that was my childhood.
I think that's really beautiful because as a young adult myself, oftentimes I hear that when you're busy doing other things, once you're occupied, then you don't fall into certain mistakes. Just by being busy, either by serving the Lord or being career driven or academic driven, that alone saves you from certain temptations. I've heard that a lot growing up.
I know that's true, but you know what happened when we are kid in a house? We always mess up.
Yeah.
And when we mess up, we look a way to defend ourselves. What is that way? Maybe lying. All kids lie. It's not because they are liars, but they want to defend themselves from the adults, from the parents. And that's something that I cannot say I didn't do it. When you're trying to defend yourself from the punishment that is coming, the only way you can do it, because you're not more powerful than them, maybe lie.
Yeah.
So I cannot take myself away of that. We used to do that. We used to do
Well,
that.
to our viewers, our pastor was once a child, just like your children in your home or just like the little ones, and maybe said a lie or two, because children will lie. Thank you for sharing your childhood with us. And I do want to ask, going into this, so you mentioned that the two routes that you wanted in life was being a soldier or being a priest. Now, I could see being a soldier happening. You give off a soldier energy. Now, you took the route of being a pastor, which it aligns with the route of being a priest, correct? So I want to ask, what led you to saying yes and being obedient to the calling of being a pastor? You know, especially nowadays, a lot of people would either run towards being a pastor for the wrong intentions, or they would run away from the calling because of the heaviness and the responsibility of it. So I want to ask, at what age did you know about this calling of you being a pastor? And what led to you saying yes to it?
Well, like I said before, going to the Methodist church or school, start getting deep in the Bible, learning about Jesus, learning about God, learning about all those disciples. He opened a way. But since then, I didn't know that I will become a pastor. If you watch the kid playing, if you call one of them and ask them what they want to be in life, they don't spend even a second without an answer. They have an answer already. But growing up at a certain age, you'll be thinking about what you were saying when you were a kid. And then even go astray of that because of what you're facing in life. Life comes with pressure. You were under the cover of your parents. At a certain age now, you're facing yourself. This can change your decision. But you know, when it's written by God, even though you go astray, wherever you're going, you will be
You'll
back.
come back like
because
the
you were
prodigal.
made for that.
Yes.
So, going to that church, every Sunday, going in a youth service, I could see some young people singing. They were singing. I like to sing too. And then I feel like, I have to abandon the paganism and give myself to God. So I was listening to them sing, and I tried to be friend with some of them that were singing and were going to the same school with me, but not in the same class. This brings me to become, to get in a movement. They used to call it JPC, means Youth for Christ, and start singing. I start singing, and they were adults that were teaching, training, giving word of God. One day they talk about baptism. I decided to be baptized. And in Methodist Church, you have to spend a year of learning the baptism courses. So during a year with a pastor teaching, I learned a lot of things. After that, when I finished with the Methodist Church, I was not going to church anymore. I could not go to Kimbango Catholic, so I stay home. It's like I go back again in a little bit paganism, not going to church, having a Bible that you don't read anymore, but you know something about it. And then when I was in my second year university, because of the kind of life that I say, I decided myself to get married. Because I feel like I should be independent. And the very way for me to live, I got to get married. Start following my wife. My wife, at that time, she was a friend. But I discovered that she was a person of prayer. And every time she was calling, you must pray. You say you're a Christian, you must pray, stuff like that. But she was Pentecost. So she started taking me to church. And I remember one day we were in a church service. Somebody was giving a seminar. This guy come in front of us. We were sitting like 4 people. And he started prophesying. He just say, somebody among those four people right there has been called by God since he was born, but he's been running away for that. But now, today was the day God said, he want to meet you. And I heard myself in my heart that is me. But I said, no, it is not me. 4 people right here. Why it's going to be just me? And I heard the person say, yeah, it is you. I was talking in my heart, but the guy was responding.
Wow.
I said, no, it's not me. And then he stepped up to me and said, it is you.
Wow.
I said, oh, okay. And then the pastor of the church said, after service, come and see me. I went to see the pastor and say, yeah, it's confirmed that you're a servant of God. So once they come and see me, I went there. It was like quick. Now you should start by being like an usher, And then we're going to take you to intercession. And then bit by bit, when we go home, Mama Amy was like, I told you. And I said, no. Do you think I can stand in front of people with the Bible, start talking and look, all those people looking at me? I ran away from the church for almost 2 years.
Wow.
What I will tell you is like, my life was no longer the same. I went through stuff, struggle. And then she's going to tell me, you don't see that we have to go back to prayer. I said, okay, let's go. I went to see the same pastor. I said, Pastor, you know, my life is not good. I want you to pray for me. He looked at me and said, I don't have to pray for you. You are not where God wants to see you. Just move back to where God wants to see you. And then everything's going to be all right.
Mm.
Are you ready? I said, I'm ready. But in my heart, I was not ready. And I was asking, how am I going to start? And I say, if God told them, why cannot speak straight to me? Because they say God is talking to them. And that's become my prayer. I was sometimes going to church, but not like supposed to be. Then I have dreams and vision that confirm in my heart that I have to do.
Mm.
That's the way. The call has come up to me. And then my father, that I can call spiritual father, his name is Elise Lukonde, he's still alive in Lubumbashi. Mm. Actually, he has the same age as me, but I didn't know.
Oh, wow.
So he was like a friend. But that time he was Papa Pasteur.
Okay.
He helped me to grow up and to become who I am.
Oh, wow. Thank you for taking us on that journey. It seems like becoming a pastor is not something that you just take on overnight, but it's a step by step. You started from serving in usher, intercession, up until where you are today. Thank you for taking us on that journey. And I think a lot of people can resonate when God is calling you, when you have a calling on your life. Sometimes as human beings, our first instinct is to run away because you don't feel qualified. You don't feel like you have the right voice. I think in many instances in the Bible, we actually see God calling people and they would say no and they would give all the reasons why they shouldn't be called. I'm young, I don't know how to talk, or I don't have the eloquency, I don't have the body movement to be able to do it, right? But oftentimes, God doesn't call people who are qualified, but rather He calls His people and then He qualifies them. So thank you for walking us through. Thank you so much for walking us through. And I know that going even a little deeper is that there is struggles that come with being a pastor. It's such a heavy responsibility. There is so much that you have to carry. You are a shepherd to people. You're carrying people's burdens. You're standing in the gap for people. So I would love to know, oftentimes people will assume that pastors have it all together. Once they see you standing preaching, they're like, oh, this man has it together because he's a pastor. So we also know that's not a reality because you're a human being, you have a family. So I would love to dig more into what's a struggle that you're still facing with today that might even surprise people.
Struggle.
Yeah.